Hello there ladies and gentlemen, it's Aski here for Nerf TV asking who is Aiden Pearce? Born May 2nd, 1974 in Belfast, Northern Ireland, Aiden is an Irish-American citizen living in Chicago. He immigrated at a young age as he shows no sign of an accent. Growing up in rough neighbourhoods, Aiden is no stranger to violence, and in later life he worked as a fixer, part of a group of mercenaries led by Geordie Chin. Specialising in assassination, recovery and cover-up operations, it's thought that this is where Aiden developed his skills in combat and hacking. An obsession with surveillance coupled with his overprotective need to protect his family has led to the point where he monitors them 24/7, justifying it to himself by saying it's for their own protection. His family believe that they have pushed Aiden away, but he uses the surveillance as a way to maintain that relationship without them knowing. Those close to Aiden were once hurt, and as the game begins they're under attack again. Aiden takes it upon himself to become a vigilante in an attempt to stop the past from repeating itself and getting retribution for the pain he and his family have suffered. So I should preface the next minute or so of this video by saying that it isn't necessarily fact, it's just based on evidence that has been found. Also, it might be a very minor spoiler, but I suppose it's something that we're going to find out in the first few minutes of the game anyway. So Ubisoft have only ever said that someone close to Aiden was once hurt. That's the only specifics to come from them. However, in the trailer we see a corkboard covered in notes and newspaper clippings. Zooming in on some of those reveals that a girl called Lena Pearce died aged 6 in a car crash on October 26th. The car crash is referred to as mysterious in another clipping, and this points quite clearly to it being his daughter who was killed, and that this is the tragedy his family suffered a while ago. The next part is based off the trailer involving T-Bone, and is evidence towards what occurs at the start of the game, the second attack on his family. While escaping from the guards, Aiden is asking T-Bone if he found what they needed there. T-Bone replies and says, "Don't worry, we're getting closer to your sister." This makes it sound most likely that Aiden's sister has been captured, and the main story of the game follows Aiden in his mission to save her. Added evidence of this could also be found in the Exposed trailer, where Aiden attacks a group of human traffickers. Perhaps they're also linked to the kidnapping. Aiden lives in a morally grey area, fighting criminals but without the backing of the law, protecting others but at the cost of their privacy. Aiden plans to hunt down those who hurt his family by gaining control over the entire city. To do this he uses a profiler, a device which gives him access to CTOS, the city surveillance system. But with this device he sees everything: violent crimes, private moments, business meetings and more. Aiden's obsession with surveillance, protection and control drives him to intervene and protect others, perhaps making up for his previous life. At some point he spent 11 months in Cook County Correctional after being accused of computer fraud, illegal possession of a firearm and grand larceny, and there is a warrant out for his immediate arrest. This, coupled with his time working as a fixer, his upbringing and the attacks on his family, point towards a man with a criminal past whose deeds caught up with him in the form of a violent family tragedy. Pearce is highly skilled in hand-to-hand combat, lethal and non-lethal tactics, offensive and defensive driving, gunplay, hacking and parkour, and he'll need all these skills at his disposal to avoid everything the city has to throw at him. So Aiden is clearly a very troubled individual. A life of crime has cost him dearly, and he is doing everything in his power to make that right, but with a price on his head and a city that watches its citizens' every move, it won't be easy. Aiden will be forever trapped in a grey area. His need for control might have stemmed from a desire to protect his family, or even just to get revenge, but as he quests for more control he sees more people in need of his help. The city is full of victims, and perhaps in an attempt to make up for his previous wrongdoings, he tries to protect them too. This in turn forces him to seek out even more control, which in turn shows him even more people in need of his help, and his mission begins to spiral out of control. He's Batman meets Dexter with a dash more of the Dexter. When you stop and think about it, he's a really sick guy, spying on his family 24/7 without them knowing, endangering the lives of others in his quest for revenge, while at the same time trying to protect innocents from being hurt. He's a man obsessed. What starts as an attempt to protect a few individuals drives him to take over an entire city to solve his problems, and in that in turn creates more problems. He's digging himself deeper and deeper, and where the line is, it's hard to see this deep down. Whether Aiden is a true vigilante trying to work alongside the law, or the judge, jury and executioner in one, will be left up to the player, but the core story of the game tells the tale of a man surrounded by conflict, both on the streets and in his mind. Sick, twisted, angry and armed, or at least we know one thing: Aiden Pearce certainly won't be boring. I've been Aski here for Nerf TV. Thank you for watching.